Welcome back to the Norm Jones Show, and we have with us a special guest. At least I think he's special. I think he would agree, though. I just met the man, and I think that I seriously, Dr. Dan McDougall is with us, otherwise known as Doc. Welcome to the show.
All right, well, thank you. It's an incredible opportunity to be here and talk about some amazing things. I always enjoyed your show, so thank you.
I don't know if you ever traced the person who got us your information, but I got it on Facebook. I was looking for an interview, and a lot of people, some called, and they set up me with the information for book brokers. Now, a little bit about you personally, we learned is that you acquired doctorate degrees and attended Western and MSU and some others. And you taught, of course, and then you spent 20 years as a teacher at Traverse City West Senior High.
Yeah, it was a great opportunity. I had a chance overall to teach for 33 years. I taught college for a number of years, and when I moved up to the area, somebody suggested high school, and it seemed like a great opportunity to work with people, working with the kids, which is the important thing. And so I got a chance to work at Traverse City West for a little over 20 years. And then even the past year after I retired, they kept calling me back to substitute, so I must have done something right.
Yeah. Well, this in addition to your work with book brokers, and you have a store, and you answer the phone call at heavens knows what time of the morning. So you're a busy guy. What was the inspiration for book brokers? What is it?
Well, basically, Book Brokers is a business, but what we found out is it's kind of morphed into an opportunity to provide goods for individuals who need them. So, Book Brokers itself, as a business, we've had several stores. This is actually our fifth store. We ended up selling the other ones over the years as I was teaching and trying to teach and also run a bookstore at the same time. As I did that, I found a lot of things out there that I could get my students involved in and help in the community. I always told my students, you find a need and you fill it. And I felt that I needed to do that myself as well. So with my business, one of the things I noticed is when I work with books, there's a lot of people out there who have books, but they don't know what to do with them. So in my store, you had the opportunity to come in, and they're usually used books, so people come in and they're great deals, and they pick them up. But what I also found is there were a lot of people just wanted to get rid of their books. And I thought there has to be something better. We're getting too many books in the landfills. We've got to find a way to try to get books to individuals. You want to get rid of them? Great. We'll find a way to get them to somebody who wants them. And that's the important thing.
Well, where do people traditionally taken their books besides landfills? I mean, you can donate them to. I'm questioning this. I don't know the answer to libraries, to...
Yep. Well, there's many organizations in the area, a lot of great charities and foundations and networks, children's programs in particular, because children's books are extremely popular. But we still don't know. You had the books in the household for a long time. Your children have grown up and they've moved on. You say, okay, what do I do with the books? What we can do is we can work with you, whether it's children's books, it's nonfiction, fictional, general, whatever you're looking for. We can make sure that it gets to someone else. And besides the landfills, the libraries were the big ones. Yep. Definitely. A lot of the charities, they would take in books. And what we found is they ended up cutting back because it took so much space. Well, we had an example recently, Clean Up, Green Up. That program was back in November, and I was contacted by the organization. They said, we want to add books. A lot of people have books, they don't know what to do with them. Can you take them in? And we find a way to repurpose them. We get the books, and then we provide them to other organizations. And it's been a great opportunity. So I think we'll continue doing it.
Is it a freebie? In other words, let's say I bring in 20 books, and I've read them, and everybody I know has read them, but don't want to discard them or dispose of them. What's the process?
Well, what we do is a lot of times you take books, you drop them off at charities or libraries and so on, and that's pretty much it. What we do is that you bring in the books, and you can drop them off. We're happy to take them, but you can also drop them off, and then you can use them for trade so that you have the opportunity, you can pick up books that you want. So individuals bring in the books, they trade. Of course, we still sell books as well. But what we have is people do that, and then we find groups and organizations that we can work with. Salvation Army is a good example. Work with Women's Resource Center, Charity and Humane Society. We're setting up a program with them right now. A Disability Network is another group that we're going to be working with short. Spark in the Dark is an awesome organization. And what I do is I put out the information saying, if you come by, things are kind of tough, books are always put on the wayside. Here's an opportunity. You can come by and pick up some books for your kids. We've had some excellent examples where people come in and they cry because they realize they're saying, hey, I'm just trying to pay the bills. It's all I can do. And they can come in and get some books. And sometimes maybe it's pride. We try to decide, is this something that we can do? But they come by, and it really is. It's a great feeling. I can't imagine doing anything else.
Wow. So you're not okay. Is it a nonprofit?
The business
That
itself,
part
actually,
of the book brokers, because I know you have a bookstore, and obviously you need to keep the doors open.
right. Well, yeah, as we work with the business, obviously, yeah, paying the bills and so on. As a nonprofit, yes, from that standpoint, because the people don't have to pay anything for this kind of program. They bring the books in, other people are interested, and I think one of the an example, a microcosm of the whole thing. I had a father who came in. They've been on tough straits right now, going through a lot, and he came up to me and in a very quiet voice said, "Is this the place where you can get free books?" I almost broke down with that situation. The kids were so excited. They were picking up books, and then the father said, "Well, I want to pay you, or I want to pay something." And I said, "No, let's take care of them." And just to watch their expression was worth it. So they get the books. They're happy. People are bringing them in, and whether it's trade or whether they are dropping them off, they feel good because they know it's going to a good place.
Have you heard of other organizations that do the similar work that you do, book brokers?
I'll be honest, when I started my program years later, I started working with Room to Read. It's an outstanding organization, international, and it was by an executive from Microsoft. And basically, he saw that individuals out there, of all the needs they have, books just aren't on the list. So he basically worked to try to provide libraries and computer labs and scholarships for individuals who wouldn't have that opportunity to go on to school. I worked with Room to Read for a number of years, but what I found is we could still do things within our own community. I always tell my students to say, think global, act local. So basically, we set up this opportunity as an initiative to help others, and I'll admit it, I've based a lot of it off of their program and then found ways that we could supply the books for individuals in the community.
We're speaking with Doc. He is with Book Brokers, and you have a brick and mortar, if you will, at Logan's Landing in Traverse City, and that is also where you sell new books.
Yes, we have the used books. We have a little of everything. We try to make sure they're in really good condition. I travel all over the state, and we work through storage units and some businesses and so on. We ended up contacting the bookstores around here when we got ready to open this one, a new reincarnation for Book Brokers that opened July 10th. I contacted all the bookstores and I said, we're not in competition. This is an opportunity to provide basically a good and service to individuals out there who need it. And I've been impressed. The other bookstores have worked with me. We've found ways to work together and we've collaborated. So by having the books there, the individuals can come by, they can get the books, and then if we don't have them, we can send them to other stores. And while they may not necessarily follow this program, they do contact us when they find books and say, we know exactly who you should be talking to do this. And
Yes.
that's worked really well.
That's what I was wondering, how people could get involved, not just with their own books, but it's a collaboration. And thank goodness for the internet. I'm assuming that's been a boon.
Yeah, the internet's been awesome, but I'll tell you what, it's just like any kind of marketing, word of mouth.
Right.
Individuals out there, we have people come in, we hand them a card, let them know in terms of what we do. They get them out to other people, and a lot of it is just individuals coming in and saying, what an awesome idea, what can I do? And I think that's a lot of it. I really believe that individuals want to help others. It's just sometimes they're not sure where to go. And in our case, I want to believe that we're providing a need for people out there. They want to learn, they want knowledge, they want to grow, they want opportunities. And I think this is one way to do it.
People might be watching, listening, saying, well, isn't that what libraries do? Can I get a library card and do the same thing? How do you enhance that, or how do you compare and fit in with that?
Oh, I'd never compete with the libraries. I think they're great. I really do. I work with the libraries here. They're just amazing. And they've been very good about getting books to me. They have Friends of the Library sales, or they have other kinds of programs there. And then they have a number of books. We get contacted many times saying, we have this available. We know about your program. Would this help? And, we take them with open arms and we find ways to get them out to people. And I think that that's critical. But no, please always go to your libraries. They're awesome.
I want to come back to Book Brokers, but I also want to talk about your career. We had a little chat before we actually went on to talk about this. And you taught at universities. And what is primarily what you taught? What was your major, your forte, or was it a lot of different things?
Well, I think it was an opportunity. I think if you honestly asked me in high school if I'd end up being a teacher in the future, I don't know. I'll be honest, and that's true for a lot of high school kids. They're not sure what they want to do in the future. As time went on, things became a little clearer. I decided, this is what I want to do. I want an opportunity to be in the classroom. I want to teach, but I also want to learn. And I feel that it's something you can do the rest of your life. So I ended up teaching at Western Michigan University, Michigan State University, Florida State University. When I moved back up to the area, I'm originally from Manistee, so I know the area well. Somebody suggested high school. And I thought, in college, a lot of these kids have the decision. They've already decided what they want to do. But in high school, they're still not sure, because I remember that for me.
Yeah.
So as the kids come in, I get a chance to work with them. I get a chance to be a mentor. I get a chance to really see what they want to do. And sometimes they just want somebody to talk to. So when we did that, and I worked in terms of these kind of programs, my best supporters have been my students. I mean, they're amazing. They're my kids.
Well, when you talk about books, I mean, it could be great literature, it could be novels, it could be factual, could be history. I mean, it just really runs the gamut.
Right.
So what most interested you, and even specifics that you taught, I guess, is what I'm asking.
Oh, okay. Well, I had the opportunity teaching economics and finance and marketing. I enjoyed those thoroughly. It was an opportunity to learn how things worked and then to find out how we could become a part of it. I think economics is critical for that. So in terms of the interest, I'll admit that's influenced a lot of the things that I do myself. Within the store, I love nonfiction. And of course, it is looking at economics. I think it's important for all of us to learn about it so that we can get involved and be knowledgeable in the decisions that we make. So I think that that's helped within the schools itself, and watching my students, my kids, and seeing what they're doing, I can see they're definitely applying what we've done and then how they can be successful themselves.
Dr. Dan McDougall is our guest. You may know him as Doc. He is with Book Brokers. We spoke a bit about that, and I went, after I graduated, I thought the two things that really interest me, or I think should be focused upon, personal finances and or relationships. And what do people have as the number one disagreement with relationships? Money. So it comes back to the real world, and you say that there's real practical application. Why don't you expound on that? I think that's really something that's needed and neat.
Well, it's interesting having the opportunity to teach all the universities and then have the chance to teach at the high school. I love teaching economics. It was fun. It was kind of neat. One of the great opportunities, I got to meet virtually all the students within the program. And as we did that, I wanted to find more application. And we found through personal finance, students get a chance then to work on loans, or they work on budgeting, or they work on plans to basically decide, okay, this is what I want to accomplish in the future. This is what I want to do. What's it going to cost? And that's the challenge. As individuals go through this, they say, okay, well, I'm going to have the nicest car. I'll have the nicest home. I'm going to have the nicest of everything. Okay, great. What's going to be your career? How are you going to save up? What are you going to do in the future? What about children? What about other events within your life or things that happen? We hope everything's good, but sometimes they aren't. How do you prepare for that? And that's what we found through the budgeting process, and within personal finance itself. Students were able to apply it, and they've used it. And I have a number of students. I had a great example just the other day. A student sent me a note, and thank God for the internet, sent me a note and said, boy, I thought we would never use that stuff. And the other day I was working on my budget, and I was going, I wonder what Doc would think of this. And I was going, okay, it worked.
Well, that's neat. That's the reward of teaching, isn't it?
It really is.
That is fantastic. People, again, get a hold of you, I'm assuming, by a website.
Yes. They can go to www.bookbrokers1.com, or they can also check us on Facebook. We're also available on Twitter. And just drop us an email at bookbrokers1@gmail.com.
You've had a fascinating life, and what's next for you? You're on this mission. You told me how many places, by the way, you have to travel today.
Yeah.
You're all over.
Yeah, I really am. And that's the plans over this next week will end up happening, because I know we're going to be limited. It's always a situation. I get contacted by places. Again, the bookstores have been awesome at this. The libraries have been amazing. Former students have been a great source in terms of getting the information on what's available. We're traveling up to Sutton's Bay. We're going to be working through some stock and getting some inventory and bringing them back. I'll also have a place up in Presque County that's contacted me, would like me to come up to take a look at some books up there. Also down in Royal Oak, a store is closed. They'd like the opportunity, and something I really appreciate, the reason they're calling, they could call anybody. But I have people that call me and say they appreciate my passion. They can see what I'm trying to do, and they want to make sure that these books are used again, that make sure that somebody gets them, that somebody enjoys them. And that's where this has really worked. So a lot of traveling around the state. That's what we're working on right now. I'm trying to get a bigger vehicle, whether it's a delivery truck, a bus, whatever it takes. But we need more space because we're bringing in a lot of product right now.
Well, that's fantastic. Once again, Book Brokers, Doc has been our guest, and you may be watching on the Norm Jones Show on Facebook or listening to your information station in Northern Michigan. That's 1110, 1210, and 101 FM, WJML. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.